What is up, you guys? It's your girl Folusho XO back with another video. Okay, today I'm coming to you guys with this holiday makeup tutorial. With the holidays right around the corner, I wanted to give you guys a beginner-friendly tutorial that you could really do with mostly drugstore products. If you guys are interested in getting this holiday glam look, take a look, a little close up right here. Stay tuned and keep on watching. Wow, guys, I definitely feel like I'm taking you back to 2016 with this camera angle, but I wanted you guys to get up close and personal just so you could see exactly what I was doing. Okay, so I'm starting on a blank canvas. I just completed my skincare routine. I do have a skincare routine video that I can link above if you guys are interested in what I do, but I'm going to start and go in with my primer. So the primer I use really varies, but today I'm gonna go with the e.l.f. Poreless primer, and that really helps to just get into my pores and help me start with an even smoother surface. My pores aren't terribly big, but this definitely helps to fill them to a point where my foundation and my face makeup applies really seamlessly. Next, I'm going to go and fill in my brows. What I'm going to use today is the e.l.f. Dip Brow Pomade. I find this a really good dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade. I buy this and I think it works just as well, and I've been using this for several months now, so I would definitely recommend it. I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows off camera. I can do a detailed eyebrow tutorial if y'all are interested in that, but I'm trying to save y'all time, so I'll be back. Now I'm just gonna go in with a concealer to make my brows look a little less boxy, and I only use concealer underneath my brows. Today I'm using the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I actually love this concealer so much. I just ran out of this one, so I bought a new one. This is in the shade Deep Cinnamon. So I'm just gonna go underneath and sort of highlight my underbrow bone and carve out the front of my brow so it looks a little less prominent. Okay, now that my brows are carved out for the most part, I know I still have a little bit to blend in the middle, but I'm just gonna go over my whole lid with this concealer so my eyeshadows just show up as pigmented as possible. This is definitely a beginner tutorial, so I personally dab that in with my fingers. You're welcome to use a brush or whatever you like, or modify this tutorial however you want. For today's eye look, I'm going for a reddish, very Christmassy holiday vibe. This is my BH Blushed Neutrals palette. We are going to start off using this shade right here. Right on top of that, I'm going to go in with this shade that's right diagonal towards it. I'm just going to blend that out in the upper part of my entire eyelid. This is our base color. As you can tell, I've used this palette a lot, but next I'm going in with this shade of brown right here, right underneath that. I'm gonna be sure to blend that out very nicely as we're about to cut our crease. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with this Makeup Revolution concealer, and I use this to cut my crease. I bought this thinking it would be my shade, but it's actually way too light for me. But it's great for cutting creases because it makes that color pop so much more. Disregard the bottom of my eye here. We're gonna clean that up in a little bit. On top of the cut crease, I'm going in with this white eyeshadow right here. This is from a different BH Cosmetics palette. It's the Studio Pro. And I'm really packing this on here. I always like to do my eyeshadows before I do my face makeup, simply because no matter what palette I use, I always find that I have fallout. So for aesthetic purposes, obviously it doesn't look as good with me having a full face of eyeshadow on with no foundation, but that's the way that I personally like to do it, and I find it works best for me. Because after I'm done with my eyeshadow, I can easily clean up my eye without having to worry about messing up any type of face makeup. On top of this, I'm going in with my silver eyeshadow by e.l.f. I swear by these. I literally have like probably 10 different shades of them. They're basically liquid glitter eyeshadows, and I just love how easy they are to apply. I always get compliments whenever I wear them because it looks like I put so much effort into my face when I literally just put on this liquid eyeshadow. And I personally have found that these are kind of sheer, which is why I went in with the color underneath. You can use them by themselves, but just know that it won't be completely silver. You'll be able to see your complexion or whatever color you put underneath it as well. On the outer portion of my lid, I'm going to go in with this burgundy color. I was hoping the shade would pop a little bit more than it has, so instead I'm going to go in with, this is actually a liquid lipstick from ColourPop. I know it's kind of a mess, I need to like clean it off. The thing about holiday looks is you can play around with it. This is like super duper red. I'm gonna test it out. Hopefully I don't mess this whole thing up. Very, very pigmented, very, very red. I'm gonna put a little bit on the other side and go back in and blend it out. I actually really like this shade to the point where I think I'm gonna drag it out and then conceal underneath later. Don't worry guys, trust the process. Right now it's looking a little bit crazy, but I guarantee you once I get my little concealer in there, it is definitely going to come together the way that I have envisioned it. Now I'm gonna go back in with the glitter e.l.f. on top of that to kind of blend it out and tone it down. One thing that I always swear by is putting on a thin layer of powder before I put on my actual foundation, and I definitely feel like that helps my foundation to stay matte and neutral, especially because my skin gets quite oily throughout the day. And one thing I hate is when I come home for a long day and there is separation of my makeup all over my face. With that being said, today we are using the Revolution setting powder, and I switched up my powder. I used to always use the Airspun, recently switched over to this. I think the Airspun's actually better, but I mean, either way, you just want to get like a really, really thin layer of it. Don't forget the forehead. Probably gonna have to regel my edges at the end of this because they have definitely reverted the life of a 4C girl. We are going to go in with our foundation of choice today. Today I'm using the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation, and I am in the color Cocoa. Because this is almost all gone, I'm applying it directly to my face like this, but otherwise I would obviously use the pump. I feel like I do need to go and get rematched to foundations simply because I feel like this one's a little bit orangey for me. This might have been good for me in the summer, but it is winter and my skin is a lot more like neutral color. It's not terribly off to the point of you can't wear it. It's just me because I know. I'm going in with a quite decent amount of this. One thing I do like about this foundation in particular is how full coverage it is. And I love how easily it just blends right in to my skin. And y'all can't forget the top of your eyebrow at this point. This is where I like to go in and literally sculpt out the top of my eyebrow with my foundation. And this just ensures that I don't have halo brows. Oftentimes when I use my concealer to sculpt off the top of my eyebrow, I have a hard time blending it, whereas with foundation, it blends more seamlessly into the skin. Next, I'm going in with the e.l.f. concealer once again. This time I'm putting it underneath my eye, and we are just going to apply a pretty good amount of it in a triangle-like motion just to really conceal and brighten underneath the eye. I actually drug my concealer out a little bit farther just so I can cut my liner so it looks really like sharp and crisp. I also like to conceal my forehead a little bit, so I do like a little triangle and down the middle, and that just helps to highlight. To help bring this whole eyeshadow look together, I'm going to go in with a red color of eyeshadow right underneath at my waterline. For the red today, I'm going in with my BH Studio Pro palette. I'm going to use this deep shade right here. So it is precise. I'm going to be using a finer brush. This is actually a new brush that I purchased, but it is very, very thin. It's just so I don't want to get the eyeshadow like everywhere. And you literally just need a little bit, and I definitely feel like it brings the whole look together. To conceal today, I'm going to be using my black Radiance. This is the shade I'm going to be using. I used to use this shade, but one day it cracked, so here we are. I'm going to use this to conceal and then this to highlight. I like to use like a fluffy brush like this. Just kind of like bring it all the way up to like my forehead and down the side of my cheek, just so I have like a nice snatched look. It definitely helps to lift my jawline when I do it like this. And even if you want, you can pull it all the way down. I don't like to do that because I already have pretty prominent cheekbones to begin with. Okay, I'm also going to go in on the sides of my nose. As you can see, this is really dark. What I like to do with my contour is, again, it's up to your discretion, but I like to blend it out with my fingertip just because I feel like that gives me the most seamless blend. And y'all can see the difference. This is the contoured side, this is the non-contoured side. Obviously, I haven't blended this out, but it definitely helps to make my nose look a lot more defined. Similar to how I did my contour, I'm going to go in with my highlight. So I'm just gonna simply take that down the bridge of my nose. I also like to highlight my brow bones right here and my cheeks. And that actually looks so good to me. Like, it kind of adds to the eyeshadow look as well, and it definitely makes your brows look more like cut, like sharp. It is time to go in with my setting powder. I'm literally just gonna set around my mouth and under my eyes simply because I already kind of set before I did my foundation. So I'm gonna lightly set. I'm using this setting powder yet again, the Makeup Revolution one, and I'm just using like a big brush and kind of just dusting it under my eye. Now I'm going to go in with my lip color. Today I'm going to use literally the same red that I was using before. I'm gonna make sure that I put a lot of lip liner on simply because I feel like this red is a little bit too bold for my skin complexion just by itself. So I'm gonna get my brown liner and go ahead and line my lips before I apply this. I don't know if I mentioned what lip color I was using earlier, but this is actually ColourPop and it's in the shade La La Land. All right, we're finally coming towards the end of this look. I'm going to go ahead and go in with my mascara. Today I'm just using LA Colors. It really doesn't matter because on top of my mascara, I'm gonna go in with my lashes. All right, y'all, it's been like 20 minutes, but I'm finally back with my lashes. I tried on 2 different ones. I ended up going with these. These are from my local beauty supply store. They're very, very long. They're 25mm. I don't know if you can tell. But anyway, I am going to go in, last but not least, with my matte finish setting spray, and I'm just gonna put that all over my face. In addition, that same silver I used on my lid, I put some in the corners of my eye. I don't know if you guys can tell. And just like that, my makeup is complete. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. If you guys are interested in more makeup tutorials, I'd be more than happy to do those for you because I literally love doing makeup, so no problem at all. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.